Hi, Tanna Marshall here with your Feel Good Friday message. And today I want to talk to you about forgiveness. Now, this is a topic that I have been wanting to address for so long, but I just wasn't quite ready. And I'm sure many of you have had people who have done you wrong. You felt that you've been not treated right, or maybe you've had some really horrible things happen to you. Maybe people in your past that you feel like good riddance, I never want to see them again, I don't want to think about them again, but you might still hold a little or a lot of resentment towards them. And believe me, I have this, God, there are tons of people in my past that when I think of them, I'm like, but I try not to think about them. But, even people who've been very close to me throughout my life that just stuff has happened and I've had to step away. And there are people that I know feel that I have done them wrong as well. And I'm well aware of that. And, I try to be as good to people as I can. It's interesting because I'm such a people pleaser. And so obviously I've had a lot of people in my life just treat me like a doormat and take advantage of it and walk all over me and treat me badly and not think twice about it because I was always there going, that's okay, that's okay. Have you been doing that? Have you been that's okay kind of person? But there are other people that I felt comfortable enough with to be honest with them if maybe I felt we were growing apart or we had differing ideas about being in a friendship together or any kind of relationship. And some people just don't take kindly to when you're being really honest and it's not always positive stuff and you're just trying to handle it the best way possible. People can still think that you did them wrong. And maybe you did do something that just wasn't cool with somebody else in some kind of situation. But regardless, I'm going to give you a couple of really simple tools to help you with forgiveness. And I'll tell you a quick little story that made me finally feel like I was ready to do this message. First of all, I just want to remind you about this quote that you have probably heard before, and I think it's so great when it comes to forgiveness. It's talking about resentment, and so many different people have been credited with this quote that I don't know who to give credit to originally, so I'm just going to tell you, you've probably heard it before. Resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And a lot of us hold on to resentment thinking, oh, I can't believe them. Oh, them. And when you think about it, it doesn't do them any harm. Not that you want to do them harm, but there's no justification that comes out of that. It's just eating away at you. And resentment means to refeel. So you're refeeling something that is negative over and over and over. And the only person that it's affecting is you negatively. And it can create health problems. It can keep you stuck in your life. And the thing with forgiveness is, and the first time I heard this, I was like, oh, that when you forgive somebody, it does not mean that you are condoning their behavior. It's not saying that's okay. What it is saying is, I am choosing to let this go. I'm choosing to release you for my benefit so that I can move on and feel better. Because trust me, anybody that you are mad at, that you have not forgiven, that you're feeling resentful towards, most likely they have no clue. It is not affecting them in the slightest. They're probably happily living their lives, totally unaware that you're even mad about anything. Or maybe if they were aware, maybe they've forgotten about it, you parted ways and it was a long time ago. So they've gotten over it, they've moved on. You're the only one still there, stuck in that emotion. So think about what it's doing to you. And don't you want to be free? Forgiveness frees you. It benefits you. So think of it as doing it for yourself. Excuse me. It's not doing anything for them. It's not like you're letting them off the hook. In fact, you are, but you're going to feel better in the long run, and then you can move on. So there's actually an affirmation that I don't remember how I came to this for forgiveness, but I just thought it was so perfect. Louise Hay has a whole book of affirmations and for the body. And emotions and thoughts that create different physical ailments. And the one for cancer, I don't know why I went to that one specifically because I don't have cancer. I don't like to focus on cancer. But the affirmation was so amazing. And it really hit home with me because in the past few years, I've obviously had a lot of resentment towards my family. I love them and they're great. And, if I needed them, they'd be there in a split second. But bottom line is, I take care of my mom full time. And my nieces have helped me a great deal, and then the rest of my family is just off living their lives and doing what they want to do, and they help sometimes, but the majority of the time they're doing what they want to do and they're living their lives, and that's kind of just the arrangement that we've made. I took this on, I took responsibility for it, I own it, and I'm proud of it, and I feel I've been doing a good job. My mom is healthy and happy, but my life is also on hold. And I can't just go do something. I can't go have lunch or dinner with somebody. I can't go on a trip unless I have people in place to take care of my mom. And it gets to be kind of burdensome sometimes. And so I think it's natural that I would have some resentment. And there have been times when I've been sick and trying to take care of my mom and had no help. And nobody said, "Oh, you're sick. We'll come and help you." There was none of that. So, of course, that just added to my resentment. And it built up and built up and built up. And I think the thing with Louise Hay's affirmation was because I knew I was focusing too much on resentment and feeling too much resentment, I did not want that to turn into cancer because long held resentment can turn into cancer. And I was like, yikes, I don't want that. I want to keep myself as healthy and happy as possible while I'm doing my best taking care of my mom. And, after she's gone, whenever that is, I'm all in for the rest of her life. As long as she needs me, I'm there. But I don't want it to kill me. I want to have my health to go live my life. I've got to kind of start over in a lot of ways after she's gone. And so I obviously want to be healthy for that. And so I knew I had to clear up that resentment. So let me tell you the affirmation because I love it. And just take cancer out of the equation. But I think as far as forgiveness, this is so helpful. So here's the affirmation: I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. I choose to fill my world with joy. I love and approve of myself. So it's those three. I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. I just love that phrase because it feels so good to me because it's lovingly. You're lovingly forgiving and releasing all of the past. That one sentence takes care of so much past crap, in my opinion. And then choosing to fill your world with joy. What brings you joy? What makes you feel joyful? It's so the opposite of that feeling of resentment, which is just so heavy and burdensome. And joy is just so light. If you haven't seen Inside Out, Disney's Inside Out, go look at a clip on YouTube because it's all these emotions personified. And joy is like, I think she's yellow. So, she's like yellow and happy and joyful. And she's such a great personification of joy. And it's just, that's where we all want to be. And so that's where you want to focus your energy. And then finally, I love and approve of myself. So you're saying, I'm letting go of all of this. And in spite of all of that, I'm choosing to come back and love and approve of myself. Because, like I said, you might have some stuff to forgive yourself about in there, whether it's with somebody else or just something that happened. You know what needs to go on between you and you. So use this if it feels right to you. But God, I think it could help anybody in any situation, especially if you are struggling with forgiveness. And the last little tool that I want to share with you, I love so much. And the first time I heard of it, someone told me, "Oh, it's secret and you can't tell anybody about it." I don't know why they told me that because it's so well known. The Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a Hawaiian prayer, and it's really, really beautiful. And it goes like this: I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And sometimes people switch that up a little bit, but that's how it feels best to me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you might be thinking, well, screw them. I'm not going to forgive them, or not. I'm not going to ask them to forgive me because they need my forgiveness. So it's not about that. It's about forgiving yourself for holding on to this stuff and doing that to yourself, doing that to your body and your mind and your spirit for so long. Think about something that you've been holding on to. How long have you been holding on to that? How is it affecting your body, your life, your relationships? It might be showing up as pain in your body. It might be showing up in relationships that aren't completely fulfilling, or maybe relationships that you kind of need to move away from, that aren't what you want and that aren't positive or beneficial to you. So the I'm sorry, please forgive me, that's to yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And then thank you. Thank you for forgiving me, forgiving yourself. And then I love you. I love you. You're saying, I love you to yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So I want you to remember the quote about resentment being like poison, drinking poison, hoping the other person will die. It's not going to do anything to them. It's only going to hurt you. And I want you to remember Louise Hay's affirmation. I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. I choose to fill my world with joy. I love and approve of myself. And then the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Doesn't that feel good? I feel a little lighter and a little better and more immersed in love after just sharing this with you. So utilize these tools if you are having trouble forgiving someone. And if you're still having trouble forgiving, then forgive yourself for having trouble forgiving. Because you don't want to add on to those negative feelings by beating yourself up over something that maybe you're not quite ready for yet. But just listen to my words, and if they resonate with you, awesome. And I hope they really help you if you're in this situation. And if you're not quite ready, come back here later and watch this video again, and maybe you will be ready. And when you are ready, I am here to support you in releasing whatever you have been holding on to. And just remember, it's only going to benefit you. This is all about you, taking care of you and making sure you feel good. Because believe me, forgiving and letting go is one of the best feeling things that you can ever do. It frees you up to move on with your life, and you deserve to live the life that you want. You deserve to be happy and not weighed down by anything from your past. I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. Love that. So keep coming back to that. Try these. See what feels good. If it works for you, keep doing it. Keep doing it over and over and over. Even if maybe you're not feeling it yet, just keep doing it. And at one point, it will sink in and you will have that moment of, I actually forgive. I am ready to let go. And I wish that for you sooner rather than later. And oh gosh, I forgot to tell you the story. I'll tell you really quick my little personal story. So yeah, lots of resentment towards my family and all that kind of thing. And my mom had a hospital visit recently, and I'm just so used to taking care of everything myself. I did it, and I kept my family informed. Primarily my brother. He's my main ally. Like I said, my nieces help a lot, but my brother, it's our mother. So he's the one I've got to stay connected to whenever anything happens and keep him informed. And I've been feeling a little resentful because around this time, he and his wife are going away for the weekend on a trip. And I have to keep myself from going, oh, it must be nice. Because I do too, but I have to have a whole army in place to take care of my mom when I'm gone. And I have to pay for all of them. So anyway, Mom, she's snoring. Speaking of mom, I can hear her on the, turn that down so you don't have to listen to her snoring either. So we had her follow-up doctor's appointment after this hospital stay, and it was a really good visit. And actually some positives came out of this whole experience. We have some new medication. I'm not big on prescription drugs, but when it's helpful for my mom and makes my life easier, then I'm all for it. So, and she was doing really, really well, kind of better than before. And so I was in a really good place and I needed to call and update my brother. And so I wanted to call him when I was feeling good about it. I didn't want to call him when I was feeling resentful. And so I called him, we had a great conversation, and I actually asked for what I needed from him and what I need, because I can feel my family going, don't ask us to help, which I usually don't, unless it's dire. And I told him, I said, you know what, the only thing I need from you is I need you to call me once in a while and just say, how are you doing? And he said, oh, I was just going to do that. I was like, oh, it works, ding, ding. So it was good to ask for what I needed. And what I was asking of him didn't require much from him. It wasn't like, come down here and take care of mom and change her dirty underwear. It wasn't about that. It was just, this is what I need from you. And this is what I know you're capable of doing for me on a regular basis. So that was really good. And then the next time he came down to visit and have dinner with my mom, we always have this visiting time. It's our quality brother sister time. We'll sit outside, we'll have a drink while mom is napping. And we wound up having one of the best conversations that we have ever had, ever. And my brother and I are really close, and we've had a lot of great conversations, but this was one of the best. And I really have to attribute it to getting into a loving place towards him and the rest of my family and forgiving them and just acknowledging that, this is my responsibility. I took it on and I'm getting the help that I need so that I can do what I need to do and stay healthy myself. And it just, there was more love there, and I let go of the resentment. And sometimes you just have to acknowledge what is, even if it pisses you off a little bit, maybe if it doesn't seem fair. But if you can acknowledge what is and handle it to the best of your ability and make sure that you are loving yourself and that you are forgiving yourself when you have that resentment and do your best to let it go, utilize these tools and affirmations, you're going to feel so much better and you're going to wind up attracting better stuff, even from people that you've been feeling resentful toward, because they will feel that love. And, maybe this is people way from your past and you don't want to have anything to do with them again. You don't ever have to have any kind of contact with anybody ever again to forgive them. Doesn't mean that you're calling them back. You don't have to call them and say, hey, I forgive you, because they'll be like, what? I don't even remember that, which can make you even more mad. So, so again, it's all within you. So we just want to let go of that stuff and we just want to dwell in love and we want to release it and make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, because that is good self-care, to forgive and release other stuff that is not benefiting you. And you will feel the difference in yourself, in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, in your relationships. It'll make your whole world better. So just remember that forgiveness is for you. You are not condoning any kind of behavior. You don't need to see anybody, talk to anybody, have contact with anybody ever again. Just forgive for your own sake, for yourself. Sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. To yourself, because you love yourself and you are worth it. You are worth forgiving, releasing, moving on, and dwelling in joy. And so that's what I wish for you. And I hope that this was helpful for you today. Like I said, I've been meaning to do this for so very long. So I hope it was a good one for you. And I hope that you enjoy these videos every week. And I want to thank you once again for joining me. I so appreciate you being here with me. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And if you would like these videos delivered straight to your inbox every Friday, jump over to my website, tannamarshall.com, and join the mailing list. I send out a special email to my list every week. And I would love to have you join us there. And so just, keep all this in mind this weekend and think about if there's somebody that you need to forgive or something that you need to let go of, and do it out of love for yourself. Don't drink that poison expecting the other person to die. Just release it, forgive it, let it go, love yourself, because that's what it's all about. And that is the ultimate in feeling good. That's why we're here. Remember, Feel Good Fridays, feeling good. That's what I want for you. So have a great week and I'll see you next time.